No one expected this moment after months of complete silence. Charlie Kirk's parents have finally spoken out, and what they revealed confirms what so many fans had quietly suspected all along. Their words didn't just answer questions, they reshaped everything people thought they knew about Charlie's legacy, his struggles, and the truth behind his public image. The internet is stunned, social media is on fire, and what was once whispered in speculation is now out in the open. The silence has broken, and with it, a flood of emotion, revelation, and closure has swept through the community. This isn't just another story, it's the turning point that changes how we remember one of the most talked about figures in modern conservative politics. Charlie Kirk was more than just a political commentator, he was the founder of Turning Point USA, a movement that reshaped the voice of young conservatives across America. To his supporters, he was a fearless leader who inspired millions to think differently. To his critics, a bold and often divisive figure who never backed down from a fight. But behind the headlines, behind the fiery debates and viral speeches, was a family that had stayed completely silent through it all. His parents. After his passing, and amid growing speculation surrounding his life and legacy, Charlie's parents avoided interviews, skipped public appearances, and refused to respond to rumors. Their absence from the conversation only deepened the mystery. People began to wonder, were they protecting his memory? Were they grieving in private? Or was there more to the story that the world wasn't ready to hear? For months, their silence echoed louder than any statement could. Every unanswered question became a headline, every rumor grew into a theory, and as weeks turned into months, the world quietly asked the same question. Would Charlie Kirk's parents ever speak? Or would the truth behind the man who inspired a generation remain buried forever? For months, the silence from Charlie Kirk's parents became one of the most talked about mysteries online. Social media threads, podcasts, and even political commentators speculated endlessly about what it meant. Some believed they were protecting his legacy from the chaos of public opinion, while others claimed the family knew more than they were letting on. Every time a new documentary, interview, or rumor about Charlie's life surfaced, fans would flood the comments asking, why haven't his parents said anything? The longer they stayed quiet, the more the curiosity grew. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it became a storm of questions about truth, loss, and legacy. And then, suddenly, the silence broke. Out of nowhere, Charlie's parents finally decided to speak, and when they did, they didn't hold back. Their words weren't defensive or political, they were emotional, raw, and honest. It was the kind of statement that didn't just answer questions, it shook the entire conversation. When Charlie Kirk's parents finally spoke, it wasn't through a flashy press conference or a media headline, it was through a deeply personal message that felt raw, unfiltered, and heartbreakingly sincere. The statement first appeared online, shared quietly through a family representative, but it spread like wildfire across every social platform within hours. In their message, Charlie's parents didn't hide behind politics or public image, they spoke directly to his supporters, his critics, and the millions who had followed his journey. In a world full of noise, the statement began, "We've chosen silence for too long, not because we didn't care, but because we needed time to heal." Those opening words stopped everyone in their tracks. What followed was a rare glimpse into the private world behind one of the most public figures in modern conservatism. They talked about their son's mission, how passionate he was about inspiring young people, how much he sacrificed to keep his movement alive, and how deeply he felt the weight of both admiration and criticism. His mother's words, in particular, resonated. Charlie gave everything to his cause. But what many forget is that he was also our son, a boy with dreams, doubts, and a heart bigger than most could imagine. That single line changed the tone of the conversation online. What had once been gossip suddenly became grief. What had been speculation turned into understanding. Within minutes, clips, screenshots, and quotes from their message began circulating everywhere, from mainstream media outlets to small fan pages. Podcasts discussed every word, and supporters flooded the family's pages with messages of love and gratitude. This wasn't a media statement crafted by PR experts. It was a family speaking from their hearts, reclaiming their son's story, and reminding the world that behind every leader, behind every movement, there's a family carrying the quiet, unseen weight of love and loss. When Charlie Kirk's parents finally broke their silence, the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. And what they revealed confirmed what so many fans had long suspected. They didn't speak with anger or defensiveness. They spoke with truth and emotion that cut straight to the heart. They revealed that behind Charlie's confident public image was a man who carried an enormous weight every single day: the pressure of leadership, the burden of constant criticism, and the loneliness that comes from living in the public eye. They confirmed that Charlie's journey wasn't as effortless as it appeared on stage or online. He faced moments of exhaustion, doubt, and quiet struggle that he never allowed the world to see. His father described him as a man driven by purpose, but often haunted by the expectations that came with it. Those words hit harder than anyone expected, because for years fans had speculated about the toll fame and influence might have taken on him. His mother added softly, "Charlie gave his life to something bigger than himself, but sometimes he forgot to take care of himself in the process." That single sentence broke hearts across the internet. Behind the political speeches, the rallies, and the viral clips, there was a son trying to make his parents proud, a human being who fought daily battles that most people never noticed. They didn't address every rumor or conspiracy floating around, but they didn't need to. Our honesty spoke louder than any denial ever could. They confirmed what so many people already felt in their hearts: that there was more to Charlie's story than politics, more to his legacy than headlines, and more to his mission than controversy. They painted a picture of a man who loved deeply, fought passionately, and carried his purpose with both pride and pain. Their words didn't just defend their son, they redefined him. They reminded the world that Charlie Kirk was not just a leader of a movement, but a man of flesh, blood, and heart, a son whose truth was finally being told by the two people who knew him best. The moment Charlie Kirk's parents' statement went public, the emotional ripple it caused was undeniable. Within hours, social media was flooded with reactions, thousands of comments, messages, and videos from people who had followed Charlie's journey for years. Fans said they couldn't hold back their tears after hearing his parents speak so openly, so humanly, about their son. The raw emotion in their words struck a chord far beyond politics. It touched hearts on a deeply personal level. Across X, formerly Twitter, posts poured in. "This broke me. I never realized how much pressure he must have carried." On Instagram and TikTok, emotional edits of Charlie's speeches began trending again, now layered with his parents' heartfelt quotes about his love, his drive, and his humanity. Fans described feeling both grief and peace: grief for what was lost, but peace in finally understanding the truth behind the man they admired. This wasn't just another viral moment or political soundbite. For many, it was closure. Their words reminded the world that behind every leader, every public voice, is a human being, someone's child, someone's heart. The Kirk family's honesty broke down barriers between public perception and private pain, transforming what could have been another controversy into a moment of connection. People from every background, supporters, critics, and even neutral observers came together in one rare moment of shared respect. It wasn't about ideology anymore. It was about love, loss, and legacy. The emotional impact of their statement didn't just reshape how people saw Charlie Kirk, it reignited empathy in a space that had long been divided by noise. For the first time in a long time, the world wasn't arguing about Charlie, it was remembering him. The moment Charlie Kirk's parents broke their silence, the media world went into overdrive. Within hours, every major outlet, podcast, and social media page was talking about it. Headlines spread like wildfire. Charlie Kirk's parents finally speak. The truth behind the legacy. A family's statement that changed everything, and what really happened inside Turning Point USA. Flooded timelines and trending sections across platforms. YouTubers and political commentators immediately began dissecting every sentence, tone, and emotional pause. While Twitter threads grew longer by the minute, fans called it one of the most heartfelt and genuine moments they'd seen in years. Comments poured in. "Finally, some truth. I knew there was more to Charlie than people gave him credit for," one user wrote. Another said, "They confirmed what we always knew. Charlie's legacy is bigger than the headlines." Influencers posted video reactions, many of them visibly moved, describing the statement as raw, healing, and a necessary reminder that behind every public name is a family still hurting. Meanwhile, critics and analysts picked apart the deeper meanings behind the parents' words. Some saw it as a message about redemption and resilience. Others viewed it as an attempt to reclaim control of Charlie's narrative after months of speculation. Even political podcasts that rarely agreed on anything found themselves aligned in awe of how impactful and emotional the statement had been. Everywhere you looked, people were talking about family, legacy, and how much the world had misunderstood the man behind the microphone. Hashtags like #CharlieKirkLegacy, #KirkFamilyStatement, And hashtag truth behind the silence began trending as thousands joined the conversation. What started as a quiet, heartfelt message from grieving parents quickly became a viral moment of reflection across political, personal, and emotional lines. The world wasn't just reacting, it was listening, as the Kirk family's heartfelt words echoed across the internet. Theories and interpretations began flooding in from every corner of social media. Some fans believe this statement was a powerful act of protection, a way for Charlie's parents to shield his legacy from the constant waves of speculation and misinformation that had followed his name for months. They argue that by speaking now, they were setting the record straight once and for all, reclaiming the truth about who Charlie really was behind the spotlight. Others think the timing of their message wasn't accidental, that it came as a direct response to the growing rumors and online debates that had recently resurfaced about his life, leadership, and the pressures he faced within Turning Point, USA. Then there are those who see it as something much deeper, not an act of defense, but of healing. To them, this wasn't about politics or headlines at all. It was about closure, about a family finding the courage to face the public and finally bring peace to years of tension, questions, and pain. But still, people are asking the same haunting question. Was this about defending Charlie's image, or revealing the truth no one wanted to face? This story goes far beyond one family's statement. It's a powerful reminder of how public life can blur the lines between truth, rumor, and humanity. In a world where headlines move faster than hearts can heal, the Kirk family's words pull us back to what really matters: love, understanding, and the human side of every story. Charlie Kirk wasn't just a political figure or a name tied to a movement, he was a son, a dreamer, a man driven by purpose who carried the weight of both praise and criticism. His parents' words remind us that behind every public legacy lies a private struggle, unseen by the cameras and unspoken in the noise of the internet. It's easy to forget that fame and influence come with a cost, that sometimes the people who seem the strongest are fighting the quietest battles. And now, as the world reflects on Charlie's journey, one message stands above the rest. Remember the person before the headlines, the heart before the politics, and the legacy built not on controversy, but on conviction and courage. Their words weren't just a defense, they were a lesson in empathy, truth, and the enduring power of love. Whatever your views may be, one thing is undeniable: Charlie Kirk's parents didn't just speak to defend their son. They spoke to remind the world of who he truly was: a leader, a dreamer, and above all, a human being with heart, flaws, and purpose. Their words cut through the noise and brought back the truth that so many had forgotten. What did you think of their heartfelt statement? Do you believe this was about closure, truth, or something even deeper? Like this video if you believe that no matter how loud the rumors get, the truth always finds its way out. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more powerful stories where truth meets emotion, and where celebrity gossip turns into real human connection. Because behind every headline, there's always a heartbeat waiting to be heard.